Hey, 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 you're now tuned in to Underdog Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with the heroic heart, and I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today I have my man, Chris Riez. How are you doing today, sir?
Brother, it's been a busy day, but I'm happy and having been able to have a chat with you.
Pleasure. I understand. I'm tired as all get up. As soon as we get off here, I'm going to sleep. So tell the people where you're from, because you're not from in the
Calgary,
U.
Alberta, Canada, sir.
Yep. So we're on different time zones. So I was like, I hope we remember, the time because it's so different. So what time is it there?
About 6:30.
Okay, so it's 8:30 here. All right, cool, cool. So we're not too far off. It's kind of like my sister. She lives in California, so she's a
A
little off
little
there.
bit, a
Yeah.
little bit different. Yeah.
Yep. So before we get into today's conversation, today's episode is brought to you by Christian Dewan. Christian Dewan, a clothing line. It's my own brand. Me and my son. We have hoodies, t-shirts, sweatshirts. If you use the promo code Underdog, and Underdog is spelled on top of me, but if you're listening, Underdog is spelled UNDERDAWG. Talk, and you'll get 15% off at christiandewan.com. And Dewan is spelled DEJUAN. All right, so we got my man Chris, and mental health is your thing. But where were you at? What was life like? What was going on before you got on the the positive side of mental health? Because there's a positive and there's a negative.
But you know what? That's how your life gets shaped. And that's, you could see a lot of people going through a lot of hard journeys. And then you see where they're at, like Tony Robbins, Oprah, and others, right? They're doing amazing things. What is it? ET? What's
Yep,
Chris?
yep,
Yeah,
Eric.
like ET too. Same thing. Like you just. So I guess for me, it was just being a kid. Didn't know I was sexually abused, but I was by my stepdad. Didn't know who my birth father was. My grandpa was an alcoholic. Beat up my grandma. Typical Eastern European household. Woman doesn't say anything. Guy, whatnot. My mom was bipolar, suicidal. I got bullied. I got beat up at school. And then, I got put into sports. Like the YMCA saved me in some aspects. Like I found like I was just put in just to be busy. And actually, Eminem, heaven forbid, Eminem, Nas, and a couple other, hit like Tupac as well. Just listening to lyrics and writing poetry, that probably saved my life. And then a couple years down the track, you're in high school, and I decided to be the typical sell drugs and make money. I never smoked it, but just smoked the marijuana and stuff like that. So sold that. Got in trouble. My mom found out, said you're going to jail if you continue. And then from there, the problems just continued at home. So I decided to bail. And eventually I made my way over to Australia where the process came. And that's where I stopped, smelled the roses, got a lot of mental health practitioners and modalities, like looked into Qigong, sound therapy, psychology, counseling, CBT, hypnotherapy, mindfulness, meditation, just different things. I was just open to everything on dealing with my trauma. And it really opened my eyes to the world as I see it now. And in that process, I thought it was just me going through all this shit. Sorry, all this
I
stuff.
know.
My apologies.
No, you can cuss. I cuss. It's
Yeah,
okay.
is I cuss a lot. My partner's like, you gotta veer that down because of the kids. My two boys, they're very, try to lead by example. It's the right
No,
word.
I got a I got an 8 year
And
old son, so I
um
understand.
and so long story, I started asking people, and so I started asking people, hey, what are you going through? And I found out, like, some guys is like, oh, my brother just killed himself. Oh, I lost my wife. I lost my job, lost everything. The more I asked, the more I was like, holy shit, this is affecting not just me, but everybody. Everybody's going through a challenge. People that are at the grocery line, like I was just asking everybody. I was like, what are you going through? Like, what are you stressed about? Or what's your mental? They're like, fuck, man, you don't even want to know. Like, and I was like, damn. So the session that came where I'm at right now, so that helped propel me to right now is there's a guy named Stuart, and he was my hypnotherapist. And anyways, he was like, what do you want out of life? What do you really want? And I was like, I want $1 million a month. Why not? I want to, he's like, nah, I'm not feeling it. That's bullshit. What do you want? Like, who are you serving? Why are you serving them? And I was like, fuck, I want to help people with mental health so that they don't have to go through the bullshit that I went through, the heartaches, the trials, the tribulations, the just everything. Everything was 10 times harder, and it's made me more resilient. But man, I just want to give people hope and give people direct access to mental health care, proper mental health care, everything. And he's like, all right, how many people do you want to help? I was like, maybe 1,000. He goes, fuck you, go bigger. And that's what he said, my hypnotherapist, which was awesome, which was funny. And I was like, all right, 10,000. He goes, bigger. I was like, 100,000. He goes, bigger. Anyways, the number is 1 billion people. So that's what I've set my mind to, is by the time I'm dead, when this world passes me by, knock on wood, I hope that that's the goal I aim for, is to help 1 billion people with mental health challenges. And that's it globally. So I had to go back to Canada. My grandma was sick, and luckily enough, I was able to be there for her and see her before she passed, which was a good call. And on the journey I went, so I learned, surveyed, did this, and now we have a platform that's almost live, and then we have a couple communities as well that are pumping as well, and we have a couple really cool bits of tech for the gaming space for direct access for mental health. So I could have done it without all those challenges, without all the fuck yous, without all the obstacles in my way, and I'm truly grateful for the life that I have now.
I love it, man. I love your story and what you were saying earlier about how you started off. We don't look at, sometimes people don't realize those things that happen, even though they're horrible things, they happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And you were able to understand, okay, I went through all that to be able to help people. The same thing with me, like being born with a disability. It took me 30 years to realize, okay, I was born to go through all the stuff I went through to help people. Yeah. And it's like, okay, I get it now. And it's like, you really, like, you go through hell just to get to where you're at, but then it's all worth it, because you could just help one person and that one person's life change. You're like, man, I did a good deed today. And one thing you said you did, you used to sell drugs. I don't know if I ever said it on the podcast, but in college I did too. Because
I was worried about saying it, because I was like, fuck, should I say it? And no, I don't tell many people. Like, my partner knows and a couple of close mates, but I like, when the boys get older, I will know everything, because I've gone through everything. Like, you can't hide shit from me. And that's, but the thing is, I don't want them to be afraid. I want them to be going, crap, like, having that experience, I can help guide them in positive manners and ways, in a better light, rather than going, shit, he just wants the money. I need to sort of veer him a little bit this way, with maybe more a couple positive, inspiring kids. You know what I mean? Rather than me going, don't do that. How dare you?
Yep.
Kids will just go F you, back off, run away, do their own thing. And that's just how it is when they become teenagers, I imagine. So
Yep. I have a teenage daughter. She's 17. She's a senior. So I definitely understand that. But boys are different, like you said, because especially being a man, you understand, like, okay, they're gonna have a coach, they're gonna have like basketball, football, whatever, and they're gonna have other men in their life. Like, it's not just put them around positive kids, you put them around positive men, because, like, for me, my biological dad died when I was 3. I was 4, and then I have a dad, but he always worked. So it's like, just having different men in your kid's life makes a big deal, because they can tell them something we tell them, because you could talk to your faces blue to your kids sometimes, and they're like, okay, dad, and then the coach will come along, hey, you need to do this and that. Oh, all right. And you be like, so I told you this 3 months ago, but you whatever. I definitely understand that with kids. It's like, because we used to be, like you said, I tell my students, I'm a teacher, I'm like, I've done everything you've done. You can't out-slick a slickster. Like, I know everything. Like, my son, he wrote like on the bed, on the sheets, and like tried to hide it. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't smart. Like, you didn't think I was gonna see that? Or if he used the restroom when he was younger, he tried to hide it.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, son? Like, I don't understand. But that's a good thing that you went through everything and I went through everything to be able to guide our sons in the right direction. So you said you did a lot of different things. You went here, you went there,
Yeah.
but your how do you say it? Hypnotist? Is that what the guy that
Oh,
helps
so
you?
hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy.
Hypnotherapy.
So it's just another.
Yep.
It's not like a hypnotist where they go like this. It's more they look at your past self.
Mhm.
You see through like some of the exercises. Maybe I'll say is that I did was like you're looking at your old life in a movie, right? So you're looking at this life that you see in this movie, and you're seeing these segments or the parts of your life play back, and then looking at the different emotions and the trigger points and all that stuff. I can't explain everything because I'm not a hypnotherapist, but
Yeah.
and then becomes the attachment to these feelings, and then from there you let go in some elements and you try to find different elements that you really haven't looked into. Hypnotherapy, I never thought it would, I was hokey pokey about it. I was like, not me, not this, not that. And I was more about the counseling and psychology. But when I found for me, for myself personally, I can't say for anybody else, what I found with the psychologists, especially, it was just like, here's a script for depressants or antidepressants. Go get, here's a script for, ADHD medicine. Here's a script for this. And it wasn't really giving a shit about me as a human being and the journey I'm going through or the trauma that I want to try to resolve. It was more about here's a script. And what I found with the other holistic methods, like even breath work or CBT training, which is like tapping, they'll tap on different parts of your body to release different parts of tension, and then they'll go through a story. That's my experience anyway. I had like I had a lady do it. She's a counselor, and she did that. And I honestly, after the tapping session, I literally cried, and it was about my birth father. Like I pent that up for like years and years and years, not having a dad, um, not knowing who the hell he was. And at the moment now, I don't care. Like I'm happy he's not even here because it's made me a better human being. And I probably punch him in the face. To be
Yeah.
honest, like everybody has a purpose. His purpose was not to be in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. And that allows me to give the purpose and the leadership and the male role model figure, parenting figure to the boys, right? So it's what you don't have, you try to make up for, but you learn and you grow stronger from. So
Definitely. And I definitely understand that because like my dad died when I was 4. So like it held on till I was like probably middle school. No, not middle school, 5th grade to realize like, all right, dude, he ain't coming back. Life ain't changing. Cause I always used to be like, man, I wish my dad was here. I could get away. Like, my mom was very strict. So like I used to have
so was mine. So was mine. Yeah.
yeah, but then when I actually learned about him, I learned more about him as I became an adult, and it's like, all
Yeah.
right, maybe he wouldn't have been the right person for me because he wasn't the best of guys. Like, I don't know, how it would have been. But then I'm a junior too, so it's like, okay, how are you a senior? Like, how did you represent our name? So it's a lot of questions I had, but like you said, I'm over it. Like, whatever, he not around. Like, for whatever reason, he passed away, and like you said, being a dad, you want to be there for your kid, but you got to be there for your kid for them, not be there for them because you didn't have a dad and you're trying to be this rah dad. You got to be there, for
And,
them.
and what I've learned for myself, like it was from my grandma. So my grandmother pretty much raised me.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she was always working, studying and stuff like that, trying to do what she could. But I remember my like she just raised me like old school Eastern Hungarian woman, hard as nuts, wooden spoon on your ass if you got out of line. And then she, like the jockey whip, how they hit the horses with that bent.
Yeah.
Oh, that too. That thing doesn't break. And
oh man,
you don't say anything bad, you don't cuss, you don't do anything, you get smacked. And it's but what she told me was, I remember, it was like, why can't you be my friend? And she told me a lesson. She goes, I'm not here to be your best friend or your friend. I'm here to be your parent. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to love you, care about you unconditionally, and guide you so that when you become an adult, you can do the same so that you can be the best version for your kids and guide them as well. And I take that with me to the boys. I'm like, I'm not here to be your friend. Like, you have friends that will support you in that manner. I'm here to give you the life lessons so that when you're a man, you'll pass them down onto your kid, and you'll be a better human being for it. That's what I'm here for.
Yep, I tell my son that. I used to tell, like, when they're when he's 8 now, but when he was like 3, 4, you're not my friend. I ain't supposed to be your friend. What are you talking about? I'm not supposed to be here to be your friend. And
No.
we have that relationship, like, we father and son. When you got a son, he's your friend to a certain degree, but it's like, all right, hey, I need you not to do that. And he understands when I'm in dad mode, but it's hard. One thing is hard for me is basketball. He's plays AAU, so he's playing competitive basketball. It's like competitive basketball. It's like travel basketball. So, and I'm like, man, I'm, even though he's only in third grade, I just like, man, he should be better. It's like, no, he has to go through the process. I didn't have a parent there to watch me through the process. I just had myself. So I don't really remember the early days before I could really play. So it's like, I got to let him develop. I can't really be loud and yell. He's not ready for that. So it's like, it's like me understanding what he needs from me rather than me just being that rah-rah person, because that's not what he needs right now.
Well, you actually triggered a memory in my head where, because I did competitive swimming for a few years, and I remember in my heat, I was the slowest one. And there's a kid, he was going to go to like nationals, so to represent the Canadian team or trial out, and I beat everybody. And I remember going upstairs to check my time, and the dad was like, "You got beat by this fucking little like slow ass." And I was looking, the kid was like, and I was like, "Fuck, man, like chill the fuck out." Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, okay, so someone beat you. So what? Get up. Like what Rocky says, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Right?
Yep,
so,
exactly. And that's like, because they were getting their ass kicked. I ain't gonna lie. Their season, the first couple games, it was like, man, we gotta travel all the way out here and I gotta pay to get in for this. But then, as they kept going, they get better, they win here and there. And it's just like me with coaching. I coach girls basketball, the high school, because I work at a charter school, so it's K through 12. So the high school I coach, assistant coach. So some of these girls never play basketball, and I'm like, oh, okay. I can't expect them to go out there and we score and all this, or them able to do that. And it's like, it's a process. And it's like anything we do, it's like me starting off with the podcast. It's a process. Like you starting off. So when you started off, like, all right, I'm going to help people with the mental health after your guy told you to do that. What did you do? Did you get coaching? Did you go read?
No, the first, so I've done a little bit of everything. Like I had a landscaping business, and then I was a builder. So I gone into building houses and stuff like that. But what I did when I found that out was, the first thing I did was start talking to people. And that was the first thing, like talk to people who have anxiety or have depression or have the problem that you're looking for. But then when I went to Canada, it sort of expanded. I did surveys. So I expanded to surveys. And then I went to different startup accelerator or different startup organizations that help give you the tools to grow your startup. I went to 1 weekly, and then I went to 2 in a week. Then I went to 3 in a week. And then I met some different people, which then led me to somebody else, which then led me to somebody else. And then I applied for my first grant. I got rejected. I think I got rejected by like 8 times from 8 different organizations. I got this grant to, I don't know, it's called Lean Stack. I don't know. It just makes your business plan a lot easier. Anyways, I did that. And the person in the grant was like, "You should be so lucky." I was like, I didn't even think about it. I just applied, didn't give a crap. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I guess it was like 25K worth or whatever it was. And the lady was like, "There's like 300 people that applied for this, and only 10 people got in." And I was like, okay. And I didn't care. And then from there, that program that I'm still in, that I've applied for different things that have keep giving me money and grant funding for, they're like, "Oh, we'll give you another one." So I applied for another grant and I got accepted. And so right now, currently I'm sitting at 150K in grants that I got. And my goal next year is $1 million. And that should give us enough scalability capital to grow the bejesus out of this and really scale it massively so that we can tackle the Canadian market and then grow into the American market, South American market, and Australian market amazingly. So it takes but it's a lot of failure. It's a lot of failure. And now all right. We back? We back.
Yeah, we back. We back.
Awesome. All right. So it's a lot of failure. And like I said, it's just like now I have 5 advisors. I have 2 development companies that I work with. I have 8 interns. So I got into an intern program where I can get interns for free for 6 weeks at a time. Like, it takes time, man. It's growing slowly, but you got to make sure that those building steps are done correctly. And you can't rush it. And when you rush it, people either see through the crap that you're trying to rush, or you politely screw up so bad that your business goes under because of some stupid mistake that you don't see.
Yeah, I love what you just said though. It takes a lot of failures. Like, people don't realize, like, in life, to win, you have to fail more than you win. Like, just starting off speaking, I've been speaking for 6 years now, and I haven't really got to where I want to be, but I had to go through every trial and error. I had to go through everything that I had to go through in life, like outside of speaking, to get to where I'm at. And then it's like, I graduated with a 1.7 GPA, but I'm a teacher. It's like, how the hell did that happen? It wasn't my plan. It wasn't my plan to do that, but it's part of the plan to get me to where I need to go. And it's like, it took all this time. It took nights where I'm crying, can't go to sleep, where I'm thinking of ideas. I don't got the money, but I keep going because I understand it's a bigger purpose. And people don't realize, like, when you sign up for a team, when you sign up to say you're going to do something, you're going to fail. You're not, even if you win out the gates, that next year you might fail. Say it's a team in the NFL here, and they go to the Super Bowl. The first year they get a rookie quarterback. The next year they don't even make the playoffs because it's hard to get back to the Super Bowl. So it's like, okay, you win right away. You get too happy, like you say, you rush it, and now you're like, oh, I got all this, and then everything wipes out. What you gonna do now? You don't know what to do.
Well, what I've realized with even quite a few, like a lot of business owners and owners of different companies, and YouTube is full of amazing interviews around, which is awesome. And just meeting people in person as well, it's how, when you fail, it's understanding and pivoting. That's the key. And if you can learn that lesson and pivot and keep moving forward. And I think most people, when they fail, they're like, done, I'm done. And I went through these startups, and now I'm in this couple startups, and I was like, why are you guys giving me so many opportunities now? They're like, do you know how many people fail? Like, do you know how many people give up after like one challenge, just one like challenge? I was like, how many? They're like 80+%. I was like, and like you have boom, 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 challenge, boom, 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 challenge. Like, we did our first testing. Like, we have the telehealth platform, and then we have our gaming app, I guess, or gaming direct access tool. And I failed with that. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be like 1,000 people loving it, and no, like I barely got a couple. And now we're developing it, getting it better, getting better feedback, and all it is takes time, and it's believing in yourself, but as well, it's just do one thing that will push the needle forward the next day. And some days you want to, like you said, you want to cry. I've had those moments like, why the fuck am I even here? Like, what the fuck is my purpose? Like, why am I even doing this right now? Like, no cash, no money, no this, no this, no this, no this. Why? Like, why? And then I look at my arm, because I have a tattoo on my arm right there. Oh, hold on. There we go. Yeah, right there. Anyways, it says, if it's to be, it's up to me. So I choose, if I want failure, then I will be that person that accepts failure. I choose to move forward, then I'll make the actions to move forward. I choose to be successful in business, then I will make those changes and steps to do so. So, like I said, man, I think people need to realize business is not making 50K, 50K months and all that stuff. And hey, if you're making 50K and making YouTube, awesome. But I think people miss the point of why they do it. And I've asked of quite a few people, I was like, why are you doing it? Oh, for the money. I was like, wrong. For me personally, wrong reason. Like massively wrong reason. Then like I feel like that's like even being like a scam artist. You're in it to make the money. So you're in it to pull out as much money as you possibly can out of your audience, and you may not even need to give value. And for me, my thought process is the opposite. I want to give as much value, so much care, so much love that people go, fuck, Chris, I love you. Thank you for changing my life. That's what I want. You know what I mean? I want to help people and go, you not only changed my life, but I'm now a mental health practitioner doing this and this, and I'm helping other people change their lives. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. That's epic. Like that to me puts a smile on my face and goes, that's why I'm here on this earth, is for that.
Yep. Definitely. I definitely understand what you're saying, man. Like just being a teacher and like as kids come up, I'm bad with names. I don't know a lot of kids. They come up, hey, Mr. Jones, or they'll give me a hug, and like they come up to give me a hug, or a kid will come to my class like, hey, I got 100 on my test. Can I get some candy? They really just come in, because I was nice to them. But one thing, it's like when I started, what you were saying earlier, when I started basketball, I've won as a coach. Our first game, we got beat by, I think, almost 40. The second game, we got beat by almost 40. And I'm like, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, I know how to play basketball. My basketball IQ's good. I'm a good coach. We've taught these girls everything. And it was like, it's part of the process. They got to lose. They got to get their tails whooped to understand when you come to practice is serious. It's not where, we just going to lollygag. Because I always tell them, it's how you play. If you don't come to practice and give 100%, you're not going to give 100% in the game. And now they realizing it. And they like, all right, they don't complain no more when we got them running. Because them first couple games, by the second quarter, coach, I need to. Like, dang, you in high school. Why are you out of breath? Oh, you out of shape. Oh, you thought it was a game. And now they understand that you actually have to put in the work. And I love what you said about your tattoo. Like, you choose to do whatever you want to do. Whatever, like, you can't blame anybody else. You can't say, oh, well, in this relationship, they did me dirty. No, you did you dirty by staying around. You knew who that person was when you first started dating them. Don't blame them. In business, like you said, it's like, okay, I get to this roadblock, I'm going to give up. No, you're not going to give up because you went through all the trauma, all the shit you went through as a kid. You know how to get over adversity. The same with me. Like, I've had over 16 different surgeries. Oh, a little pain? That ain't nothing. All right, I'm good. So people, when you realize the losses that you took or the mistakes or in the lessons that you learned as a kid all the way into where you're up now, you'll understand nothing can stop you. You've already been through the worst shit you ever had to go through. So keep it going.
Well, that's what I was, you're reading my mind. Is like, once you're at that floor bottom and you've been hit, hammered, broken, like I remember going to flying over to Australia. So I lived in New Zealand, dated somebody, she broke my heart. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know anybody. Anyways, and then I moved over to Australia. I thought I found a place. I think it was for about 6 months. I forked out 8,800, almost $9,000. I was like, for 6 months, I'm just going to chill, because I just thought it was a vacation. I didn't think of living there for 10 years. I just thought it was like chill, breathe, blah. I got scammed on my birthday. I got there, found out it was a scam, had a moment of punching the wall or something. I found it, talked to the real estate, like, yeah, that's ours, but that person doesn't exist. Bought a nice place for a nice hotel room for the night. I was like, I'm going to enjoy my day. Just my day. I'll enjoy it. And then I was like, and then next day, get to work. Like, don't have anybody. I've lost $9,000. I need to fucking haul ass. And now from that experience of like not having that support and just building myself up to where I am now, it's like everything that gets thrown in my life is easy. Like Like, yes, it sucks for the moment. Yes, it sucks for even a couple days, or it's a challenge. But then someone else has told me, and these are different quotes that, you know, I listen to, is like, the universe or God or whatever you believe in gives you, if you want $1 million, or if you want to help, if you have a big goal, you're going to get big challenges during the way, and you're going to get the universe or God or whoever else to test you. How much do you want it? Are you talking a lot? Are you talking a lot of crap and you're, oh, I want it like everybody else, but don't put in the work? Or are you going to go, I want it. I don't give a crap what you throw at me. I don't sleep. I don't eat. I want it. Like ET, like just that hard mindset of like, boom, boom, let's go. What else do you got? Throw this at me. Let's go. Burn me in a fire. Let's go. Let's go. And I guess that's the different mindset that we're in, is like, I think I'm noticing, maybe it's wrong, but I'm noticing is that I think kids now need hardship. Hardship builds character, and I think it's a very healthy thing to have. And I think when we groom kids, like especially North America, I'm not saying all parts of the States and in Canada is very well off, but when you have opportunity with electricity, running water, well, most parts, I guess, say running water and shelter and some clothes, you got more than what like 60, 70% of the world has. You know what I mean? And there isn't an excuse for you to not get what you want out of this life and experience it.
Hey, we can almost end the podcast there, because you are on point when it comes to these kids. They think they're entitled. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I see it from the elementary, the middle school, and the high school. It's like, you don't get nothing just because you woke up and your name is whoever. I tell my son that you don't get stuff just because you ask for it. Like, you think, oh, because I'm your dad, I'm supposed to buy you everything. Did you clean your room? Are you doing what you're supposed to? Are you disrespecting? Are you talking back to your mama? Oh, you're not getting nothing. Like, he know when he come over here, I'll get him anything if you're doing what you're supposed to. But if you're not, you're not getting nothing, none of that. And I don't never want my kids to be like, oh, I'm supposed to get. No, you got to earn everything you get. And like you said, like, you got running water, you got clothes, but you got to have Jordans and all. No, you don't. You just need some shoes.
No, you don't.
Some food and a nice bed, and you good. And like, yeah, you was on the, like, I definitely know that's going to be a clip that I'm going to make.
Do it. Like I said, like for my boys, like you with the whole code, like I have a code of be a gentleman. What a gentleman is, I tell the boys, be a little gentleman. A little gentleman is use your manners, use your words, not your fists, right? Open the door for ladies, treat them with respect. Even if they don't treat you in kind, you can always walk away. You know what I mean? Always be proactive. Don't wait for somebody to come up to you and say, hey, I need help. Look at somebody needing help and help them. Like, just different little things. I'm hoping when they grow up, they will have that. And when they go to the different people's houses, like, damn, you like put my dishes away, clean my dishes, did this. My kids don't even do that. And I was like, and part of me goes, fuck yeah, I'm proud. Fuck yeah. Like, I'm setting the standard with these boys of like, this is how a real man is. And this is how we should treat other people as well.
Oh, definitely. Now, I know on my end, I need to work a little more showing my son that, but I always tell him certain stuff. I tell him, one thing I definitely tell him is tell anybody thank you. Tell your mama thank you for cooking. She don't have to cook for you. Like, people don't have to do stuff for you. So if somebody does something for you, tell them thank you. Like, I don't care what it is, and I make sure that, you know, that he's on it. Like a general, like, you know, he's a ladies' man, so I have to make sure that he's a gentleman. I don't want him to be the a-hole and think just because I got the swag and I'm cute, like, no, you got to be nice to these girls. And I think that's why he gets all the girls, because he's a nice guy. He's not rough. But I've also told him, don't ever let nobody put their hands on you, because sometimes, like, he's been in a situation recently, like a little kid pushed him. I'm like, hey, next time they push you, put them hands and feet on them. Like, you're not going to let somebody just, rough you up. Even if y'all was playing, you knew they wasn't playing. So before we get to our closing moments, I always ask my guests, give me 3 tips for anybody dealing with mental health that they can do when they listen to this episode when it drops.
I think the first thing that I will tell anybody is if you are facing depression or even anxiety, and if you're feeling uncomfortable talking on those crisis lines, which I did, talk to somebody. Call up somebody that you trust and talk. Say, listen, man, I just want you to shut up and I want to talk. I need you to support me. I don't want a solution. I just need to talk. That's the first one, is that. Number two is there's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot. And I think people get really bombarded with the bullshit out there. So I think keep things simple. For me, simple is, do you have rest? Are you sleeping well? Number one. Number two, do you have a community that supports you? And number three, what are you doing today? And it can be a small thing or a big thing that's helping your mental health. Are you doing a breathing exercise? Are you, I don't know, if you're staying in bed all week, because I had moments where I stayed in bed for a day or 2 days at a time. Did you just get up and did you just brush your teeth? You mean like basic, simple things, and that's what I would say to your viewers or audience is those three basics. Like, do one thing for your mental health each and every day, get that sleep because it's very important, and then reach out and really create a community around you that really supports you and loves you. Without a community, it's fudging a big uphill battle. And actually, like 4 weeks ago, an acquaintance of mine that, through a couple of mates of mine that are good friends with, but I met the guy and had chats with him and stuff. He killed himself. He couldn't handle it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, I didn't see that coming. Like, professional, good job, all this stuff, awesome wife, all this, killed himself. Couldn't handle it. And I'm like, that's why, for me, it drives me even harder, because I'm like, I want to be that voice for the people that don't have a voice and give them the help that they need right away. So those are the three that I can offer you, brother.
I love it. I love it. And one thing that you said that's very important is community. Community is definitely, it don't matter what that community looks like, long as it's a positive community, definitely be a part of a community. So I need a quote. It could be your quote. It could be a quote that you saw, whatever.
Love over fear. It's put on my chest. I have it. Love over fear. Fear creates more fear and attracts more fear into your life. Love, if you love yourself fully and accepting of all flaws, good and bad, will allow you to progress and grow your life into a better human being and enjoy this experience moment by moment.
Man, I love it. Before you tell the listeners how they can reach you, I just want to say thank you for getting on. Thank you for reaching out. Shout out to is Bethany?
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Bethany for getting us together. Like, she's like, yeah, I got my guy and this, that. And like talking to you, I'm like, oh, he's cool dude. Cause sometimes when people live on two different parts of the world, they're similar, but we don't think that. And what you're doing is great, man. Like, keep pushing. I know you're going to get to that 1 billion lives that you're going to help with the mental health, because you're a cool dude. You're authentic, you're transparent, and that's what people need. They need a real person that's going to tell them about real shit that happened to them and how they got over it. And that's the way that the world gets better, is by us being real people. So I always love to give my guests flowers. Sometimes I've met them for the first time as we hit record, but man, I love everything that you do, and keep doing what you're doing. And I definitely love that art behind you. I'm an art guy, and I definitely love art behind you.
I love that. To me, reminds me about like mental health, right? Like everything's in black and white, but when you you have anxiety and depression, but when you peel those layers back, all this color shines through of who you are, and this, like, your soul just pops. And I guess for me, that's my goal, is make your soul pop, and by giving you the tools to make it pop. And that's it. I look at it and I love it every day. So it's awesome.
I love it, man. So tell the listeners how they can reach out to you, how they can find you on social media.
On Facebook, we'll keep it nice and easy on Facebook. It's Depression Free on Facebook. It's a big Facebook group. We have over 18,000 in there, loving members that really truly care. Start there, and then if you want to grow through everything else, you'll be able to find us through what we're doing and all of our projects that we're working on. But let's keep it nice and simple for your viewers.
Love it, man. I love it. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you dropping the knowledge and just having a conversation, because it's always good to talk to people that's not from the US and see how life is. And it's always
it's minus 20. It's freaking cold.
Oh yeah, it's minus. Oh yeah, it ain't that cold here. So yeah, I don't want none of that parts of what you got going on. But before we get out of here, give us a closing word.
Love yourself unconditionally and reach out to somebody if you need the help. And I don't care if you have doubt, thoughts of what if I'll look like an idiot. Reach out, talk to somebody.
And on that note, peace, one love.
Peace.
I'm the underdog with the heroic heart. I'm Eric Jones Jr. I have to keep pushing for my kids. If I give up, what's that leave them with? Nothing. I have to understand that it's bigger than me. That it's not about me when I wake up and go to work. It's not about me when I'm reading and educate myself. It's not about me when I'm practicing my speeches. It's not about me. It's about my family.